Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. And it's for Monday, the 21st day of February, the 20th day of Adar Rishon. Today, I want to learn with you just quickly the concept of erasing the memory of Amalek. We will make a big deal of that on Parshas Zachor, which is still a couple of weeks away. But what we're going to do is read about how God tells us to erase the memory of Amalek. So that's still a couple of weeks away, but we're going to read a special portion that talks about that mitzvah. The question I wanted to ask you is this. If God wants us to erase the memory of Amalek, if you really want their memory to go away, the best thing to do would be to stop talking about them. That's what the question is claiming. So if we would stop talking about Amalek, basically we would all forget about them and their memory would go away. But God doesn't seem to want us doing it that way. He tells us each and every year that there's going to be Parshas Zachor. We're going to read it right before Purim, and we're going to mention what Amalek did to us. They fought us when we came out of Mitzrayim, and we're going to stamp out their memory. So my question in short to you is, why does God want us remembering them, making a big deal out of them so they're back on our minds again, and then saying, blot out their memory? Why don't we just go with the first routine, which would be stop talking about them, and eventually they'll be forgotten? You get my question? Why do we mention Amalek to stamp out their memory? That's the question. The answer seems to be this. Amalek stands for something. But Amalek, if you want to know what they really stand for, is, in contrast to us, we believe that God is everywhere. God oversees every minute detail of the entire universe, and Amalek stands for exactly the opposite. They say there is no God, everything happens by chance, there's just fate and luck and randomness, and that's how our universe came to be. There's two very, very, very opposing views. We believe God oversees every detail of the universe, and they believe every detail of the universe is random. So now you kind of understand how we're going to answer the question. God says, mention that concept. Mention it. Say it. Say, there's a nation of Amalek that believes that there's no God, there's no control over the world, everything's random and everything. And then God says, stamp that out. Okay, so he wants it to be that way. He wants you to look at randomness in the face and say, really? This whole universe is random? Really? The sun ended up exactly 93 million miles away, which is the exact distance it needs to be for us to survive. If it was 92 million miles away, we would all burn. If it was 94 million miles away, we would all freeze. You think that happened by accident in every other detail of our solar system and the entire universe? Okay, well, that's crazy. So God says, say their crazy idea and then state the opposite. No, there's a creator who oversees every detail of this. That's why God says, mention Amalek and erase their memory. They stand for the antithesis of you. Mention what they are and stand up against that. That's the idea of Parshas Zachor. Here's my own personal private thought here. The same thing, says me, happens when we read the Megillah. We want to hear every word of the Megillah, right? So we're going to mention Haman's name, and we're going to make a loud noise when we hear Haman's name. Sometimes by mistake, the loud noise drowns out Haman's name, and you can't hear Haman's name. So they say Haman's name again, and then they stamp it out. And if you didn't hear his name well, you got to say it again, and then stamp it out. See, it's the same concept happening again. We say, Haman, he was from Amalek. He stood for, everything's poor, everything's a lottery, everything's random. And we say, mention his name. Now stamp and make noise. No, hear his name. Now stamp and make noise. I hope I'm making sense here, not rambling. The Amalek stands for the antithesis of us. They believe there's no creator. We state what they are. We state Haman's name, and then we stamp on it and say, oh no. As a matter of fact, there's a creator overseeing every detail of the universe. That's why Haman was hung. That's why we're still here. Because of the God, the creator of the universe, who oversees every single detail. That's the message we learn from mentioning the memory of Amalek and stamping on it and saying, who's still here? God's people. Thank you. I hope that made sense. Have a great day and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.